Hey everybody, and welcome to the weekly scopes from the 15th of January right up until the 21st of January. On the 15th of January, the moon enters void of course at 47 minutes past midnight. So what is void of course? Void of course moon in astrology is when the moon journeys through its cycle and it makes one last main aspect, i.e. a trine, conjunction, square, set star, opposition, with another planet before changing signs, yet it still makes minor aspects. I call them major and I do include them in my weekly scopes and daily scopes. But anyway, so it will still make minor aspects such as semi-squares, set stars, quintiles and sesquiquadrate, but it won't make any what's called, in inverted commas, main aspects. When the moon enters void of course, it can be a time of uncertainty and confusion for many. Because of this, some astrologers suggest it may be best to delay things during the moon void of course period. To be on the safe side, it may be sensible to plan ahead, stay clear of major events or decisions during the time period when moon's void of course. Sometimes moon void of course can just last for an hour, sometimes it can last for a day. If you can, it's a perfect time to take some time out to reflect and relax if you feel affected by the moon void of course period. In astrology, the moon represents our emotions and innermost feelings, so this is especially a vulnerable time for some people, especially for those with strong Cancer or water energy, Pisces and Scorpio in their chart. So water signs and those affected will especially benefit for taking time out to reflect and check in with themselves, especially on your belief patterns, maybe thinking of starting or continuing the work to let go of them. Excellent time to practice mindfulness and to be open to the universe lessons for you, giving gratitude. Even though it can be a challenging time, it can also be a powerful one if we use moon void of course periods as a perfect opportunity to cultivate our inner strength and wisdom. Also on the 15th at 1:19 a.m, the moon enters the constellation of Libra. The best use of the Libra moon energy is to work with others, compromising to find solutions to your problems, or simply getting work completed quicker. If you want to hear more about the things you should do while the moon is in Libra, listen to the end of today's horoscope. Also today, the moon enters last quarter moon phase at 2:11 a.m. The last quarter moon or third quarter moon is a symbolic representation of the waning phase of the lunar cycle. In this phase, the moon appears to be lit at 50% on the left side, giving the impression of a waning crescent. It's a powerful time to release all that no longer serves us, allowing us to move forward with clarity and focus. It is also a good time to identify and release any burdens that no longer serve you. This is a moment to start or continue purging any self-destructive thoughts, addictions or relationships, especially if it happens when the moon's in void of course as well. It gives that extra double powerful energy, allowing you to make room for what you wish to invite in your life in the coming new moon. This phase can bring forth a sense of liberation, allowing us to let go of our emotional and mental baggage, leaving us feeling lighter and more balanced. It's also a good time to be mindful of your words, as we can tend to speak more freely without thinking of the consequences. This can cause arguments in relationships. The last quarter moon is a reminder of the importance of knowing when and how to let go. List of things that can come into focus during the last quarter moon. At worst, brings mood swings and a conflict between the masculine and feminine energy, so the side of you that's more emotional, spiritual, and the side of you that's more rational, logical. Also quick responses and impulsive actions. You can focus on getting rid of the old to make room for the new, decluttering your house, your car, your office, releasing burdens, whether that be in personal hobbies, projects, relationships or habits, increased sensuality, need for touch, unblocking your repressed emotions and energy, being more responsive to hands-on healing therapies like massage, acupuncture, investigating your obstacles and thinking about the ways that you can overcome your challenges, gives increased insight, good time to partake in self-care or meditation, questioning your grudges, bitterness and regrets to work through them, forgiveness of yourself and others. So yeah, that's the 15th of January. On the 16th of January, the moon enters via combustion at 4:55 a.m. Via combustion in astrology is known as the fiery way. It runs from the 15th degrees of Libra to the 15th degrees of Scorpio. So when the moon is in those degrees, it's said to be in via combustion. So in astrology, positions such as via combustion is used in making predictions, especially in Hooray astrology. When the moon is in the fiery way, some astrologers think it's best to delay things, because when the moon enters via combustion, it can be a time of intense energies and heightened emotions. Still, I see when the moon in via combustion personally as a perfect energy to start or continue working through your deep emotions, self-destructive thoughts or behaviours, and psychological or spiritual and relationship problems. If you want it to be, this can be a powerful time of transformation when old beliefs and patterns can be challenged and new ideas and perspectives can arise, but it can also feel overwhelming and chaotic. The intensity of the emotions that come up can make you feel like you're drowning, so it is essential to stay grounded and practice self-care during this time if you feel this way. And know that although it's scary to face emotions, after all, you can't feel the fullness of life if you have thoughts and relationships holding you back. When the moon's in via combustion, it's an excellent time to explore any matter that requires you to dive deep and that you normally numb yourself or run from, yet it won't be all a bed of roses. You may go through some emotional turmoil. Nevertheless, it is an immense opportunity, so it's essential to be open and receptive to the possibilities that may arise, and remember, you can get out of the darkness if you keep on working on your personal development. And yes, that's the 16th of January. On the 17th of January, the moon enters void of course at 7:28. I already mentioned what moon void of course means. The moon also enters Scorpio at 7:30 a.m. So esoterically, the best use of this energy is to look after your financial, sexual and emotional health, working to understand and let go of any anger, increase your self-discipline, take practical actions towards completing things, study scientific, technological or occult topics, and forgive those who feel you have wronged you. If you find it hard to express your emotions, writing them down may help. The moon in the constellation of Scorpio may also see people becoming more diligent and making practical effort to improve their home environment. This is incredible energy to ensure your life and other insurance policies are up to date. If you consciously use the Scorpio moon vibration, you can complete the things you put your willpower to, doing the work to improve your physical or inner emotional, spiritual and psychological home, as well as taking care of your finances, can bring extra rewards in the long term. There can also be an increase in sexual and psychic energy. Negatively, past emotional resentments and conflicts involving money and other resources may cause problems in relationships. Although you may take action to avoid these types of confrontations, you may be forced to deal with them. It's best to admit any wrongdoing and try and forgive others and yourself. This may be hard to do, yet remember, we can never change our past. We can relive it repeatedly in our minds, blocking the new directions we could be walking towards. There can also be an increase in jealous and or vengeful behaviour under the Scorpio moon. People can be intent on repaying what they see as past wrongs. People can become more secretive about behaviours, furthering the tension in relationships. Some of you may feel like your creative and vital energies are blocked. Getting as much rest as possible is essential to rejuvenating your life force. Screaming may be the best and only way to release your pent-up rage. Lack of money may also bring you added stress, but it's imperative to consider what you can do with what you have rather than focus on what you lack. It can take longer to reach your goals due to a lack of adequate resources, but if you keep on trying, you will eventually get there. Although you may be tempted to start new things, it's best to use this moon to finish up old business and projects and resolve old arguments. Study scientific, technological, occult, or intellectual subjects and practice self-discipline and moon control. For gardeners out there, when the moon is in Scorpio, it's a decent time to plant hard crops and vines such as pole beans, corn, cucumbers, pumpkins, tomatoes, squashes, melons and courgettes. Also today, the Sun makes a square to Jupiter, which may make those in power more accessible, so it's good for reaching out for help to those who can provide it. Negatively, people can focus on the bigger picture and neglect small details, being overconfident and taking risks with money and other resources. Recklessness and prejudice views can cause mistakes or create conflicts in relationships. Also on the 17th, Saturn enters Aquarius, so I'm about to give a detailed description of what that means. In one sentence, Saturn in Aquarius is about examining your life to identify potential areas for improvement. Aquarius energy is all about sharing knowledge in imaginative ways, being original and having strong opinions. The vibration is steadfast, intellectual, aloof, detached and impartial, seeing truth rather than conforming to personalities and society's rules. Saturn in Aquarius wants us to develop our nonconformist attitudes and challenge the status quo, not in sporadic ways, rebelling without a proper cause, but to go against the crowd and what others think in a practical, well thought out and researched way, because this transit can get some disgruntled, especially those with strong 1st, 5th, 8th, 9th, 11th and 12th house energies. Also those with strong Uranus, Aries, Leo, Sun or Scorpio energies in their natal chart as well as those with Mars, Neptune, Aquarium, Pisces, Jupiter and Sagittarius placements or aspects. It's important to remember that there are consequences for exhibiting hot-headed, impulsive behaviour and breaking laws, so just be careful. Try and be a rebel with a purpose rather than just being destructive with it, because being destructive with this energy will not get you anywhere. For example, if you're inflexible and unwilling to compromise, others may eventually rebel against you. You may also have to face severe consequences if you use bullying tactics or engage in other harmful behaviours. Instead of trying to stand out above the rest, which will likely backfire, try to understand and respect the rules that are already in place. This doesn't mean shying away from nonconformist attitudes or behaviours. It means being thoughtful, once again, very pressing, when taking action. Don't go too far or make drastic changes all at once without first considering the outcomes and the implications. Following these guidelines will minimise the chance of getting into trouble while still achieving your goals. Instead, find the balance between respecting the past and its traditions and blending it with new, futuristic ideas and actions. Saturn in Aquarius is teaching us that sometimes you must put rules and regulations in place to be free and liberated. Now's the time to make your mind up and call it a day and all the stuff that isn't bringing you joy. So go ahead and let go of all these lost causes that have been dragging you down, especially your own wayward expectations, behaviours. A sacrifice will have to be made to reach your goals. So Saturn is a real stickler for definitions, structures, order and commitments and discipline, like a strict parent who won't let you stay up past your bedtime. So when we are asked to follow the rules of Saturn, it can feel like our freedom is in jeopardy. Yet Saturn in Aquarius just wants us to follow the rules to have authentic freedom. As a consequence of people becoming more forward thinking and more socially aware about social injustices and things, because Aquarius is also the sign of social change, and this is why sometimes it brings sudden events. There's likely to be changes in friendships, science, technology. More people may use things like astrology, numerology, and other alternative healing methods to help change society at this time as well, and also give more human rights to individuals across nations. Right now in our world, a lot of people don't have the freedoms that they should have, so there may be either a big change in freedoms or more restriction. But because we're talking about Saturn in Aquarius, I think there will be a balance between bringing about more freedoms but also keeping the structures of order and traditions as well. When the majestic Saturn is in Aquarius, the optimistic energies of the Aquarian can be felt all round, with an abundance of innovative ideas for how to better the lives of others. Aquarius is a powerful sign of humanitarianism and collaboration. Saturn in Aquarius has an eye towards keeping together the collective. Sometimes it's simply a matter of taking care of yourself, and this helps improve the world. For some of you, it could be coming up with grand concepts or completing tasks and projects that will benefit all people. As Saturn shifts into Aquarius, it can become clear that taking personal responsibility for your own life can positively affect our collective environment. We have the opportunity to make a positive contribution to society if we are prepared to manage our physical, emotional, spiritual, psychological and financial health. When Saturn is in Aquarius, it is empowered and in its element. This is because in astrology Saturn is dignified in Aquarius, so this means it's the best place for Saturn to be. So now is the perfect opportunity to put your dreams, aspiration, efforts into action and do your best to improve your relationships, especially the relationship you have with yourself. Right now Saturn will also put all relationships to the test, and all that are not good will be removed from your life, or should be removed, because you know us humans can cling on to things we need to let go of, and this is why most of the dramas in the world happen. The transit of Saturn in Aquarius is an opportunity to start or deepen a relationship, a real intimate one, or friendship, something with like-minded people. This energy encourages people to come together and go beyond what they can do on their own, becoming more committed to relationships, projects, careers, and becoming more full of energy and being open to the potential to work for long periods of time and to make the changes that are necessary and that will bring you long-lasting rewards and experience. Saturn calls for a straightforward, clear-cut, realistic and authentic approach when influencing our charts. Saturn also tests us, a lot of tests, a lot of restrictions, but don't do this because Saturn gets fun and gets amusement out of seeing us all crash and burn, but rather to benefit us in the long run. Saturn will uncover areas of our lives that require attention and improvement. It's a perfect moment to cut ties when Saturn is in Aquarius with those who drain your energy and stop your growth. Embrace your authentic self, stay true to who you really are, be candid and frank, direct, just say it how it is, cut the bull crap, set your limits, be principled and accepting. When Saturn transits Aquarius, aim to establish sustainable relationships or alliances based on similar values and objectives rather than lusts or superficial connections. It would be best if you surround yourself with the people and activities that truly make you feel energized and enthusiastic, and leave the rest behind, especially toxic thoughts or toxic energy drainer type people. Every breath you take when Saturn is in Aquarius is a reminder to cut the negativity and toxicity out of your life and focus on what brings you joy and helps you reach your full potential. Let go of whatever or whoever it is that has been holding you back, and instead embrace the opportunities and people that can help you reach the next level of your journey. Although letting go is not easy, Saturn's desire to slow down and become more detached is a blessing. Still, taking our time to reach inner equilibrium is key when dealing with Saturn. It is natural for us to try and control or hold on to destructive relationships, but that can be an uphill battle with lots of disappointments. Rally around the people and things that make you feel alive and leave the rest in the dust. Now is the time to reclaim your energy and make your dreams a reality. Taking a hard look at your social life, ideals and principles, your beliefs, who you associate you with, the group activities you do, the contributions you make to yourself and others, and your involvement in the community. Do you need to slow down or do you need to put more effort in? It may be a time, if you do overwork yourself and overburn yourself, to slim down, streamline and simplify your commitments right now, rather than try and do too much or carry on doing too much and wear yourself thin. Focus your energy on a couple of meaningful activities. Do things that make you feel alive and empowered, and also take time to look after your overall well-being. I'll discuss that more in a bit. Because if you do this, the payoff will be infinitely more rewarding than attempting to tackle too many tasks at once. To gain the most from this time, we must be willing to let some opportunities go to live a more balanced and rewarding life. As ruler of the 11th house, which controls groups and visions, Aquarius brings a surge of hope and optimism that we can create a better world for all. The 11th house in astrology is the house of organizations, groups and social consciousness, as well as spirituality and futuristic ideas and ways of life. It's a place of deep insight into the collective and our connectedness to others and ourselves. We can trace our relationships to the collective through the love we receive, our goals, hopes and wishes, and not only the love we receive but also the love we give. It can also be perfect energy to give us that sense of wanting to help others, that sense of charity and the desire to help those in need. Some of you may even foster a child or pets, in not to laugh, but you never know. I was going to say a plant, some people do that. So some of you be fostering, looking into taking in a child or children that are not your own, or a pet that's not your own, or pets or a plant or just something that's not your own, deciding to become the caretaker of these children or animals. Also, some of you may give more to those who live in poverty or are otherwise distressed and in need of support. Ultimately, when Saturn is in Aquarius, it's a reminder of our interconnectedness and how we can come together and share purpose. We can make a real difference in the world by doing so. Visionaries, inventors and creators can rejoice. This vibration is ideal for becoming detached and healthily working through psychological and emotional issues. Aquarian energy is often seen as being ethereal, otherworldly, but when Saturn is present, it provides the necessary grounded and practicality to make the most of it, bringing those ideas down to earth a little bit. All in all, when Saturn is transiting in Aquarius, it's essential to focus on constructing reliable and long-term relationships. Sometimes this requires cutting ties with associations that are not beneficial, whether they are romantic, platonic or professional. It is also a great time to get rid of unnecessary commitments and focus on what matters most. So you may prefer quality over quantity in all things. It's a time to leave wistful thinking behind and make something real. Our knowledge of the past and vision of the future can help make meaningful decisions and achieve great success. Let's leave our egos at the door and work with all the different dimensions of your personality and other people in healthy ways to bring positive change and balance not only into our own lives but also into the lives of the human collective. Because we're dealing with Uranus and Aquarius here, this is really a good time to think of new scientific, spiritual, technological inventions or ideas, projects, way of lives or relationships or communities that can provide more organisation and structure, and whose sole purpose is to make the world better for everyone. On the health level, when Saturn's in Aquarius, look after your circulatory system. So this includes your legs, your spine and your ankles. This should be a priority. Be sure to take special care of your body in general, get enough sleep, exercise and chill out time for optimal health and well-being. If we want to ensure that our goals last, grow and become stronger, we need to put in the effort to make it happen. Saturn in Aquarius is here to remind us of that fact that, we can have these big ideas and stuff, but if we don't take practical action, then they just remain dreams. In this period of tremendous transition, you may find yourself making a host of questions like, have we become sufficiently accountable in our respective communities? Are existing legal, government and societal, educational, medical frameworks adequate to help all of those in the world? And as we know, they're not. Are global resources truly being shared equal? And they're not. So how can we make them be shared more equally? How can you do your part in that? Because the burden's not on one person, it's on all of us as a collective. On the individual level, you may want to focus on making a proper plan so that you can reach your goals and ensure your overall well-being over the next couple of years while Saturn is in Aquarius. So over the next couple of years, as we face a lot of changes as individuals and as a world, it's up to us to take a hard look at the current state of our own lives and the world and ask ourselves what kind of world we all want to live in. We have the power as individuals to create a world of peace, equality and justice, even if we just bring these into our own life. And we can create peace, justice and equality for all if we all fight for it. When Saturn is transiting in Aquarius, the possibilities are endless and we can achieve these things, although they may seem woo-woo and even more woo-woo in these current times and stuff, but some of us have to be optimistic, eh? So yeah, Saturn in Aquarius gives us a valuable lesson that freedom comes not from escaping or numbing ourselves and running away from our responsibilities or, breaking the rules for rules' sakes, but for accepting and learning from the consequences of our successes and failures. Now is a good moment to make a decisive choice and move on from activities that do not bring you contentment, that are toxic and unhealthy to your overall well-being, as I said earlier. So it's advisable to abandon any negative situations, goals or relationships that have proven to be a waste of time and energy. It's completely necessary for you to get rid of any unhelpful thoughts because these negative thoughts create destructive behaviors and these behaviors lead to destructive relationships. So it all starts in the mind. So letting go of any toxic thought patterns that hold you back. Also looking into the ways that you've been expecting too much from other people, being too egotistical or demanding or controlling. Letting go of being cocky and boastful and prideful, careless or arrogant and seeking perfection. Because being egotistical, being like, oh, everything's got to be perfect is just the same thing, and procrastinating as well. And now is the time to do all the things that you say that you've wanted to do, even if some of these things you've been saying year in and year out for the last 20 years and you think, oh, I've got no more time to do these things. It's never too late to live the life that you really want to live. And although I said, this energy is about changing the world, know that each person can only do what they can do to make this happen. The focus must be on bringing health and enjoyment and peace into your own life first before you try to even bring these qualities out in others. Saturn in Aquarius wants us to take a more minimalistic approach to making our life a reality, reaching out to advisors, professionals and those with natural insight. If you feel stuck, and being more direct and genuine with yourself and others. Take advantage of this energy to focus on distinctive, meaningful, unique and profound ventures and relationships, aiming to improve the areas of your life that need it. Why not take the time to develop your innate gifts, learn new skills or refine your personality, and just open yourself up to deep, meaningful relationships. For some of you on the romantic front, Saturn in Aquarius is going to bring maybe a Saturn person, and you may be, oh no, they're too horrible, they're too strict. For some of you, you're going to get like a futuristic kind of out there, out of the box thinker as a lover or friend, and at first you may reject these connections because they may not be like the people you normally meet, but if you just stay open to the endless possibilities, some of you will just get these ideas and you'll be like, oh no, I could never make this dream a reality, this is crazy. Try and stick with it, research, look into it, find the right resources and tools to move forward with these crazy ideas. Don't ignore red flags because I'm big on red flags, but just open your heart to a better life for not only you, but for everyone in the world. So yeah, that's transiting Saturn in Aquarius. On the 17th, we've got this as well. It's been a long day, hasn't it? But yes, also on the 17th, transiting Venus and Jupiter make a semi-square, and today is the perfect time to throw a party and enjoy the good things in life. You may find yourself being extra social and eager to indulge in all the pleasures the world has to offer. Be warned though, excess can lead to physical discomfort and an insincere approach to love and affection. While enjoying yourself and having a good time is important, take a caution and do not overdo it. But the Sun's conjunction to Pluto, which also happens as well, may make this harder to do today. So although it supports, the newness of Saturn in Aquarius and brings a burst of energy and passion, motivating us to take charge and seize control of our circumstances, Sun conjunct Pluto can also bring intense feelings of power and a passionate need to dominate and control others, and if you've got authority to use it, some of you may abuse it. People may be more territorial and competitive. This is my toy, this is my money, you can't have it, all that sort of behaviour, and determined to win at all costs. This transit can also signify, Sun conjunct Pluto, we're talking about Pluto here. So again, with the Saturn in Aquarius, it's supporting that some of you may end one chapter of your life only to begin another, and some of you may willingly want to do this. Sun conjunct Pluto, all in all, is a time of powerful turning points. We can use our strength and superior force to achieve our goals and ambitions rather than try and control and dominate other people. So yeah, that's the 17th of January. On the 18th of January, the moon leaves via combustion at 9:06 a.m. Also, Mercury turns direct out of retrograde. Yay, 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 yay. I hear you scream. At 1:12 p.m. Mercury direct is a time of renewed energy and potential. As the planet of communication and travel, Mercury governs our ability to move through the world and interact with others. When it goes stationary direct out of retrograde, things start to move forward again, and we can look forward to a period of increased clarity and decisiveness. It's a perfect time to make decisions, take action, and set yourself up for success. It can also be a time of increased productivity as our minds are more uncluttered and focused. If you have been experiencing communication problems due to the previous retrograde period, they may slowly improve over the next few weeks. Delays won't change overnight. Still, you and others are more likely to think and talk more clearly, so there can be less conflicts. Also, if you have been experiencing writers or any other creativity block, with patience and determination, you will overcome these issues slowly yet surely. Once again, when Mercury goes direct, all in all, the wheels of progress start to turn, and it's time to start making the most of the opportunities that come your way and to move forward with all communication projects. Also today, the moon enters balsamic moon phase at 3:56 p.m. GMT time, or times are in GMT times. So the key words of the balsamic moon are relax, reflect, renew, cleanse, plan, stillness, transformation, celebrating progress and letting go. Typically lasts 3 to 3.5 days. When you're in this phase, you can become more comfortable with your own and other people's darkness. The waning crescent moon, or the dark moon, as some call it, or the balsamic moon, is a good time for some time out to spend time alone in solitude in your free time. The balsamic moon is one of the most dynamic of astrological moon phases often drowned in mystery and enigma on the sort of spiritual level, as it marks the end of the lunar cycle and the beginning of another, so the end of the full moon period, and we're coming into the new moon in a few days. It often relates to one's destiny, an overall commitment to one's life path. During the balsamic moon, you may shy away from the hectic, but this moon phase really wants us to get ready to release and let go, to chill out. And if you don't know how to chill out, do some research on it, or hang around with those who know to do so, or Google it. This isn't a promotion for Google, by the way, but yeah. The dark moon is all about continuing or starting to let go of the things or people that hold you back. As the moon prepares to enter its rejuvenating phase at the time of the coming new moon, throughout the balsamic moon transit, you may find yourself contemplating the past and thinking more about the future without much focus on the now. You may have a deeper connection with your inner voice, intuition, imagination, and dream life. When the moon is in dark moon crescent phase, you may ask questions like, what do I need to change to be who I really want to be? What's stopping me? What patterns of my past do I keep repeating? What steps do I need to take to create the future I want? What do I need to give up in able to move forward? To sum up, the balsamic moon phase is a call to action to reevaluate the direction of your life and the goals that have been set by you. It can be difficult, but it's also an opportunity to gain more clarity, make plans, and take the necessary steps forwards that need to be taken in your life. This phase also encourages us to take a closer look at the dreams and ambitions we have for our lives, and to let go of all that has served its purpose, especially your self-destructive thoughts which create your bad habits. So yeah, that's the 18th of January. On the 19th of January, the moon void of course starts at 3:05 a.m. I talked about that already for this week, so you can go back to the beginning of this if you want to know what to do in void of course. The moon also enters Sagittarius at 9:48 a.m. When the moon enters the constellation of Sagittarius, some of you may have foretelling, visionary dreams or ideas, and as you know, the sun's in Sagittarius and now the moon's going into Sagittarius as well, so it's amplifying this energy. You may find yourself more restless, seeking independence and adventure, and disliking routine. You may have a keener sense of justice, but it's best to think before you say your insights. Legal, political, workplace or community events may sometimes interfere with your social or personal commitments when the moon's in the constellation of Sagittarius. This energy allows you to focus, however you may forget to consider others' feelings and thoughts, which can cause disagreements. If you find yourself on edge and more sensitive than usual, you may find that exercising or anything else to release the pent-up energy and emotion will help you relax. You may pay more attention to politics, finances or cultural activities, especially if they directly affect you or your home life. You may find yourself taking a trip with family or friends to a place of profound significance to you guys. People may become more friendly, empathetic, outspoken, honest, ethical and direct, more so than normal, making things more peaceful in relationships. The Sagittarius moon can make people want more freedom, which may cause disturbances in committed relationships. Negatively, people can become more eccentric, selfish, detached and unpredictable. There can be an increase in disagreements over prejudiced opinions and ways of life. There can also be legal or other serious problems due to disagreements or over religious or any other beliefs that you may have as well. Sometimes there can be problems with financial transactions and people deceiving others or fraudulently getting what they want through professional means. It is vital that you double check all paperwork and do your own research. At times there can be a struggle with being willing to take a more philosophical or higher consciousness approach to your life, and the side of you that wants to stay in your comfort zone, maybe because of traumatic memories from your childhood and the beliefs you were told to follow, that may surface now, causing the conflicts between you wanting to try out a new belief and the part of you just like, no, I must do what I was brought up to do and stuff like that. If you do receive guidance right now, of course, analyze it, but don't disregard it solely because of what's happened in your past or your past beliefs. The best use of the moon's energy traveling through the constellation of Sagittarius is to plan long journeys maybe, and be open-minded, look over legal documents, resolve conflicts, and focus on the bigger picture of your education, any educational new skills you may want to learn, any new belief system or your current belief system, questioning if it's still valid, and also taking some time out to look into your personal development. Anything that expands your intellect or consciousness in some way is good. Some of you may benefit from seeking out spiritual, religious, psychological, philosophical, or some other form of guidance and exploration. In fact, some of you may become intrigued to the point of obsession with occult knowledge or practices. When the moon travels through the constellation of Sagittarius, it's a good time for those involved in farming or gardening to sprout seeds, harvest or store bulbs and roots, plant or cultivate bulb or fruit plants, and sort of like general groundwork is favoured. The moonlight will boost the growth of the leaves and the planting of things like legumes, lentils, peas and beans and cucurbits, such as cucumber, courgette, squash, melons and tomatoes and peppers, and also mowing the lawn. All these things are weather permitting, because sometimes the moon goes into Sagittarius when it's winter in certain places and it's not good to plant those things, but yeah, in general it is. So yeah, that's the 19th of January. On the 20th of January, while in the constellation of Sagittarius, the moon enters void of course again at 8:31 a.m. So yeah, I talked about the moon void of course, and that's all that happens on the 20th. Some days in astrology, everything happens all at once, and then some days nothing but one thing happens, and today it was just a void of course. On the 21st of January, we got a lot going on. We have the new moon, of course. So yeah, the first thing that happens is the moon enters Capricorn at 9:23 a.m. Okay, on the 21st, we also have the super new moon at 8:54 GMT time PM. So a super moon is when the moon is at its closest point to the Earth in its elliptical path, also known as a perigee moon, so it appears bigger than it does at other times. According to some astrologers, a supermoon enhances and deepens emotions, intuition and awareness, and repressed desires and feelings can surface more intensely, and we can feel more vulnerable and exposed than normal. During these periods, we can be more easily affected by cosmic influences. Our creative and passion can be intensified, but so can our need to be angry and controlling and dominating, so watch out of that. But it can also be a time of increased spiritual presence and awareness, when we can experience a deep connection to our higher self and the universe or higher power or God, whatever you call the creator. It's a time to be mindful and gentle with yourself and tune into your inner wisdom. If you look up to the night sky, you'll be able to see the bigger than usual lunar disk, and it can be breathtaking. It is said that the super new moon brings with it a special energy, a feeling of pure magic and wonder. So take a moment to look up and let the mysterious beauty of this celestial event fill you with awe, wonder, and also the promise of new beginnings. Also on the 21st of January, we have a new moon at 8:54 p.m. New moon energy is all about new beginnings, even if it's just new ways of thinking and doing things. When it is new moon, it's an excellent time to think about the new ways to improve your life, start new projects, look for a new career path, begin new courses and things like that. Rearranging your home or office for comfort and practicality is also a good use of this energy. Still, it may not be best to take practical action just yet. Nevertheless, researching or creating a strategic plan to ensure you will stay consistent in trying to achieve your fresh or continuing goals is the best use of this energy. Don't underestimate the planning side of things. People are more likely to think more independently, focusing on their own priorities, so there can be more introverted behaviour and less socialising. Anything started under the new moon is well expected to be a success in the long run if you are prepared to do the hard work to make your dreams a reality. At the onset of a new moon, it's the universe's opportunity to manifest something new in your life, to fill any lacking voids, whether it be a fresh experience, deciding to become the individual you were born to be, or trying a new service, or buying a new object, or trying a new product. This is your cosmic chance to feel revitalized. So sometimes that means finally getting that new couch you've been eyeing for months, or maybe it's the new job you've been dreaming of. But more often than not, it's something more unexpected, or something that you know you need to do, like ending a toxic relationship or toxic addiction, but you've been putting it off because it can be scary to do so. New moons are a time when the higher power and the universe and the planets conspire to bring you exactly what you need, and sometimes you don't even know what that is, so some of you may be surprised. But we must make room for new beginnings and fun. You may find yourself doing something you've never imagined, like taking a random road trip, or spontaneously starting a new course, learning a new skill, or anything else like that. Negatively, because people can become intensely focused on their needs at this time, they can be increased egotistical and selfish behaviour, and at the extremes, using controlling behaviours to get what they want, which can cause full-blown arguments as people try to dominate each other and the environment. So yeah, the new moon can also be a good time to invest money in your own personal development, or long-term investments in stock or other markets, especially those related to food, creativity and entertainment. But make sure you check the facts before taking a risk. So new moon rituals, some rituals to do during the new moon. Some people find it beneficial to take a moment to reflect on what it is they want to bring into their lives, thinking deeply and intentionally. Some people create affirmations that speak to bringing more power and reaching their highest potential. Writing down their thoughts and feelings can bring clarity to your vision, so take some time out to journal. Planting seeds, literally and metaphorically, can help manifest your desires. Consult your intuition, tarot, or another divination method to gain insight into your innermost wishes, or create a vision board to help you stay on track. Don't forget to reach out to the people who can help you on your journey, or you may prefer to create a sacred space, so filling this space with items that can bring joy and that are special to you. Lighting some candles, burning some incense, sitting out under the tree unless it's really cold, or just in your bedroom or in the bath, just a place where you can set your intentions, write down your plans. It's best to avoid energy drainers and say yes to maybe dates and invites that come your way during this time, but don't ignore red flags. All in all, everything that happens over the next few weeks during the new moon phase can teach us big lessons. So yeah, that's general interpretation of the new moon. Now I'm going to take a full look into the astrology of the new moon for the 21st of January 2021. So at the time of January's new moon, the moon and sun make a trine to Mars. Transiting sun and moon trine Mars are powerful energies that brings a rare moment of synchronization between instinct and action. It's a time when you can trust yourself to act without hesitation, tapping into your intuition and inner strength to accomplish your goals. Your inner guidance system is especially strong, with your ego and emotions making a trine with your motivation drive, which is the sun, and your emotions obviously is the moon, helping you to understand intuitively what is wanted and how to get it. Quick reflexes come naturally, allowing you to make decisions and take action quickly, confidently and with courage. This is a prime time to make bold and decisive decisions and take decisive action, and trust that the results will be satisfying if you are prepared to plan and stick with it and hold a sense of purpose. You may also be drawn to physical activities such as sports and exercise. This energy supports you in getting active and pushing your body to the limit. Seize this opportunity and make the most of it. It's the perfect time to make a daring move and be rewarded for it. The moon and sun sextile Jupiter. This aspect supports the directness of the moon and sun's trine to Mars, giving you the chance to see expansive possibilities and giving good luck. People in positions of power can be more accessible and willing to help you during this time, making this a great time to approach them with requests, or you may decide to go for a leadership role, or you can be the one that people come to. You're the one with power and people may ask you for help and you may decide to help them. Also, this energy makes it good for those who may be investing their time or going for promotion in businesses involved in travel or different cultures. You can expect smooth sailing, both literally and figuratively, because some of you may actually be taking a trip abroad or going for a job that involves travelling. If you're willing to work hard towards whatever it is you want to achieve at this new moon, as you venture out and explore the world, it can happen. The moon and sun also conjunct Pluto, so the effect of these two transits can manifest in many ways. Still, most commonly, it gives the energy to be immensely driven and ambitious, but people can have the urge to exert more control and dominate others. Relationships may become more territorial, and it's possible that disputes could arise due to the need to be like, this is my space and get out of it, and people may want to invade the space. So yeah, also these energies support new beginnings and ending things that drain your energy. Negatively, with the powerful force of Sun and Pluto combined, some people may be driven to achieve their goals in, egotistical, selfish and fanatical ways and become jealous or obsessive. The best use of this energy is to use your willpower to assert your self-empowerment and go after what you really want, and to think and feel positive and develop or use your enterprising spirit. The optimistic energy is contagious, so capitalize on it, make the best of it, and avoid trying to control the people because it always backfires. Moreover, it's likely that your relationships with those who express their feminine energy more or your emotional side can be really work with you at this time, because we've got the sun and the moon trining Mars as well supporting this. And the sun and moon trining Mars can make us all go crazy, and with the sun also conjuncting Pluto, people can do the most craziest and wildest things, so watch out for that. But making love can be really passionate right now, or hooking up, whatever it is you like to do. So yeah, make the most of these magical conjunctions and trines. So yeah, additionally, the sun and moon also make a quintile to Chiron, so it's a great time to deal with emotional, psychological and spiritual wounds. These quintile transits support the energy of the moon and sun trine Mars, supporting a heightened sense of intuition and insight which can be used to move forward in a positive direction. When the sun and moon quintile transit Chiron, the effects are quite profound and it can be a major life-changing event for some of you. This can be a powerful time of healing and opening up to the possibilities of transformation, supporting the call of the moon and sun conjunct Pluto, which wants us to transform and do what it takes to reach your highest potential. It's a time to break free from old ways of being and to embrace the unknown. During this transit, you may have a heightened awareness of your body and its needs and feel more in tune with your emotions. You may also encourage a stronger desire to connect and learn from the wisdom of the universe. This transit can also bring opportunities for personal growth and a wider perspective on life. Through this transit, you may find yourself able to access inner truths and open up to new possibilities for a better life. It is also an incredible time to bring these changes if you want to. With these esoteric aspects of the moon and sun quintile Chiron, a unique cosmic synergy is created. Also at the time of the new moon, I'm going to look into the Sabian degrees now. So the moon and the sun are in the 8th Sabian degree of Capricorn. Remember, I do constellational Vedic astrology, so this is based on where the planets and luminaries, sun and moon, are in the sky at any given time, rather than the seasons, which Western astrology uses. So yeah, the Sabian symbol for this time of the new moon is of the 8th degree of Capricorn is birds in the house singing happily. So this symbol brings attention to feeling contentment and joy when living according to the values and customs of a stable, imbalanced, equal society. I know this is something that's not readily available in our current world. There's a lot of conflict. But even if you're not part of a stable society, which we are not, don't worry, you can still experience joy in your own unique way. So this symbol wants us to change how we perceive the world, knowing that it will always contain some element of madness. So it's best to train your mind to deal with it, avoiding as much crazy as you can, starting with doing all you can to understand, heal and manage your own psychological and emotional wounds so you can become more balanced, so that you can stay centered in your inner sense of joy and peace no matter what life throws at you. Doing your part to keep society running smoothly can be incredibly fulfilling right now. It doesn't have to be something like developing a social networking app. You can do something simply like doing the work to transform yourself, and this can help change our world. Pluto is in the 5th degree of Capricorn, so the Sabian symbol for this tagline is Indians rowing a canoe and dancing a war dance. So this Sabian degree draws our attention to the need to harness physical and emotional forces to create an atmosphere of achievement, applying that a certain level of assertiveness may be required to release the latent capabilities of a collective, which supports the calling of the Sun and Moon conjunct Pluto, and then Mars is trying with the Moon and Sun also, to assertively go after what you want while respecting others. Because Mars plays a big role as well, Mars is in the 15th degree of Taurus. The tagline is a man with a rakish silk hat, muffled braves the storm. So this is letting us know that we must shift to a higher state of being in which we allow ourselves to gain insight through learning from the lessons that we've experienced in life, so we can develop a more inclusive and still psychological and emotional state. As the old saying states, adversity or wealth reveals who a person really truly is. So times are, it's hard in our world. Character and personality is something that cannot be bought, it has to be cultivated. So this degree supports once again that this new moon is all about choice. So it's up to you to define who you are and to bring the changes into your life to make you a more rounded person, if that's what you want to do. Jupiter's in the 11th degree of Pisces, so the tagline for this is seeking illumination. Although the late and great astrologer Dame Rudder tagged this as man travelling a narrow path seeking illumination, which I feel is more on the money, bringing again under the spotlight that often in life, if you want to find success and happiness, you have to develop routine and structure, avoid self-destruction, habits, relationships and thoughts. Walking a more narrow path, which is an interesting concept that can be interpreted in many ways. For some people it means taking a restrictive path that's more focused and ignoring anything and anyone that doesn't fit with your goals. And this doesn't mean disregarding them and not being compassionate, but also discerning and knowing when someone's willing to change and when someone's not, and being honest with yourself in the ways that you need to change as well, which can lead you to a great journey of self-discovery where you must become aware of your innermost thoughts and feelings and beliefs in order to gain a greater understanding of yourself and the world. Or for some of you, you may decide to take a more spiritual approach in which you open your mind and heart to gain spiritual clarity and insight. No matter which path you decide, it is clear that the path is often narrow and the journey is long, and narrow means you have to sacrifice and give up, self-destructive things really. Otherwise, you're always going to be pulled off your path and never reach your highest potential. Walking a narrow path requires dedication, focus and perseverance, and it often signifies the literal and metaphorical journey that one has to make, and showing us that life is full of choices and also unforeseen circumstances and obstacles. Shows us that we must carefully choose the steps that we want to take and to proceed with each step with caution, to avoid pitfalls and dead ends and repeating our past over and over again and getting stuck in ruts and stuff. We have to move on and let go if we really want to make change. Otherwise, just saying it won't make it happen. It's the believing it and visualizing and the practical action which brings change into your life, from my experience. Also, some of you will have to make difficult decisions at this time, and there can be a greater risk of uncertainty because giving up on all that, getting out of your comfort zone to go in a more spiritual or just to make a better life for yourself as well. So walking a narrow path is the process of making difficult, ethical and spiritual decisions, which can make you take a different approach to life, to be mindful of the choices that impact the world and the people around you, and more importantly yourself. Walking a narrow path is ultimately being brave and giving up and conforming to what others want you to do. Chiron is also in the 19th degree of Pisces at this time, so the Sabian degree for this is a master instructing his people. So this symbol brings to our attention the ancient practice of passing down wisdom and influence that maintains the spiritual and creative impetus of the cycle in its sort of like this undistorted form. So some of you may meet a wise teacher within or without of you, because sometimes the greatest teachings come from within, when we're dreaming and you're just sitting there and self-reflecting and things like that. And these visions or this new teacher or this friend or someone more expert can show you a better way to live your life. And if you're willing to take slow and steady steps to transform your life, it can be possible to reach new emotional, spiritual and psychological heights. Treasured knowledge must be passed from individual to individual, and yet it is shaped and tailored to unique circumstances of each particular person, yet the core message is always the same: give and receive love. So it just points to us that, we have these ancient wisdoms in our world, but sometimes it's about updating this knowledge so we can teach to people in ways that they can understand. So some of you may decide to become an alternative healer, or to, again, we've had Saturn going into Aquarius this week, so you may take the calling of that to become more enterprising and to create a business to bring some kind of social change in your family even, or your community, or globally. So this Sabian degree of 19th degree of Pisces calls to us that we must update ancient knowledge to fit with our modern world, but we must also respect tradition as well and give respect to those that have come before us while following these traditions. And this can be like, the world is a mess, and the government and other structure totally needs an overhaul, and this is true. But instead of just thinking, we need to get rid of it all, what from our past human history of, let's say, the last 20 to 30 years has actually been good? Like social media, it's caused a lot of destruction, but it's also allowed a lot of people to have good things in their life, find good groups or husbands and wives or other marriage partners or friendships, and also allow them to get access to knowledge that wasn't readily available. So it's about updating with the old with the new, rather than forgetting the old completely. The overall theme of this new moon and the alignment of the transits and the Sabian degrees involved is taking the chance to come into the awareness of your deeper wounds and realizing that the potential for healing them is within you. Also allows you to understand your emotional psychological struggles with greater clarity, allowing you to see the underlying issues that have an impact on your life. With this newfound understanding, we may be able to take positive action to address our pain, your pain, and bring yourself closer to authentic and balanced emotional, psychological and spiritual healing that can lead to greater, more balanced personal expression. So when the moon's in the constellation of Capricorn, people are more concerned with their careers and public matters and what is practical and profitable, and are more inclined to push their emotions aside. There can be an increase in socialising and networking for career or other professional reasons. You and others can become more formal and uncaring. This is a good energy to organise and become more disciplined in thought and action. Making a financial plan for your old age and helping others to do so is a perfect use of this vibration, as are all other forms of financial and material planning. Do your best to positively reduce any stress you have about your financial, spiritual, physical, spiritual and emotional health. Negatively, the moon transiting in Capricorn can make for a lot of family drama, arguments over money, status, taste or lack of possessions. People can be more withdrawn, pessimistic and depressed than usual, being fearful of trying new things or hearing fresh ideas. Rather than sort yourself out from your emotions, relieve any stress you have about your financial, psychological, physical, spiritual and emotional health in a positive way rather than, keeping it all in. That can lead to you drinking your sorrows alone and stuff like that, because Capricorn makes us do things in secret rather than out there typically. The best use of the moon in Capricorn is to concentrate on business, household and other practical matters or problems, focusing on your own personal or career goals, development and healing, without becoming too excessive and egotistical and sorting out those you're intimate with without explanation or sorting yourself out. Although you may be more emotional, reserved, then other times it's best to speak to all you come into contact with sensitivity and understanding, rather than being cold, because this can just come across as just not caring. Do all you can to avoid excessiveness, pick your battles wisely and protect your reputation by being ethical and direct. It's an excellent time to help any children or anyone younger than you whose lives you're involved in with their career or educational process. When the moon is in Capricorn, it's good for gardeners to plant all forms of root crops because it supports rapid healing and excessive root growth. This increases final yield. It's also a perfect energy to fertilise and prune your garden as it will recover quickly. So yeah, woo! And that's the 21st of January. So yeah, that was the weekly scopes from the 15th to the 21st of January 2023. Take care and I will see you next week.